Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best spotting scope.
Starting at number 5.
Celestron Ultima 100. At about 4.5 pounds and with a 100 mm diameter, this monster scope from Celestron isn't ideal for carting around, but is a great option if you do most of your stargazing from home. This is a relatively affordable option that gives you decent optical quality in a light-grabbing, 100 mm objective lens. Thus also makes it easy to use with the wide field of vision. Image quality in the 22-66x zoom will deteriorate at maximum magnification like any scope in this price range, but the middle sweet spot is enough to enjoy astronomical details up close. The angled eyepiece is a great choice for when you're mostly looking up, but it is also easy to use generally, which makes this a valid option for the shooting range as well. If you're a serious astrophotographer, you'll want to spend more to get improved optical quality or consider a proper telescope instead. But if you value a versatile spotter for wildlife, shooting, and other stationary spotting besides just stargazing, it's a solid option.
Coming at number 4.
Nikon Unisex Adult. Hunters are as obsessive over their gear as photographers. For that reason, plenty of Nikon optics find favor with the hunting crowd, but that same quality serves recreational wildlife spotters just as well. Nikon takes its pedigree for quality glass in camera lenses to the ProStaff series of spotting scopes to deliver sharp, high-contrast imagery with accurate color at a mid-range price point. The Monarch line offers higher fidelity glass, but the same size spotter from the Monarch line costs more than double the ProStaff 5 for marginal gains in quality, a price many aren't willing to pay. Because of the oversized 82 mm objective lens, there's plenty of light gathered here, even if it's not Nikon's highest-end model. It's also fairly lightweight for toting in a backpack as far as you need to find the animals you're looking for. It's also built for the outdoors, with a waterproof and fog-proof build and sliding sunshade to minimize glare.
At number 3.
Swarovski BTX. Spotting scopes can be frustrating to use if you're accustomed to the relative comfort of binoculars. Squinting the non-dominant eye closed and hunching over a spotting scope gets tiring in minutes, whereas most can glass on and off with binoculars comfortably for an hour or two. The Swarovski BTX system completely solves this problem by offering a binocular eyepiece for its high-quality spotting scope objective lenses. This beefy setup is pricey, no surprise, but with a headrest and dual eyepieces, you can have the binocular experience with the power of a spotting scope. I have tested this setup at my local dealer many times and it is a breath of fresh air compared side by side with a traditional spotting scope. The downsides are fairly obvious: weight and price. At over 10 pounds, this is not a unit you're lugging very far from a vehicle, especially since you'll need a heavy-duty tripod to properly stabilize the heavier optic. The cost is also about as much money as you can spend on a spotter setup, so it's not realistic for most. Still, if I were to go all in on an optic, I would strongly consider the BTX.
Number 2 of my list.
Celestron Ultima 80. If you're going to go cheap, go big. While more expensive spotting scopes can improve light transmission with fancy coatings and prism technology, there's no substitute for a bigger objective lens when it comes to bringing in more light. The 80 mm objective lens on the Ultima from Celestron makes for a heavy scope, but it offers much of the function, if not quality, of mid-tier scopes at a fraction of the price. While this is a budget option, Celestron is a California-based company well known for its stargazing telescopes. And while it may not be on par with the quality of more expensive glass, it shares most of the same tech and features. This includes multi-coated lenses to maximize light, waterproofing, and even an integrated adapter to attach a camera for DG scoping, placing the lens of a digital camera to the eyepiece of your spotting scope so you can take photos, if desired.
And number 1.
Vortex Optics Viper. Optics from this family-owned American brand are ubiquitous in hunting because they offer quality performance at lower prices than most high-end brands. While the Viper scope, and the whole Vortex line, is aimed at hunters, this is a high-performance scope at a mid-tier price. The compromise 65mm objective lens size makes the scope small enough to be packable but big enough to be comfortable to use in the field or at the range. It weighs just over 3 pounds, which is about as light as you can hope for at this size and quality. There are certainly better, more expensive scopes available, Vortex's razor line and plenty of other ultra-high-end options from brands, but for most buyers, the marginal improvements aren't worth the hundreds, if not thousands, of extra dollars required. Vortex is respected for its no-questions-asked VIP warranty. While several other optics brands now offer similar guarantees, Vortex has decades of history of standing behind its warranties. The scope retails for just over $1,000 MSRP on the brand site, but it can almost always be found online for much less.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.